Most times when we are guilty of what we always accuse other people of doing or not doing. A scholar was once asked, what is the most simplest and very difficult thing in life? His response was very simple. He said, mistakes are easy to judge when others make them, but very difficult to realize and accept when we make them ourselves. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, peace-loving people of Plateau State. Glad to be welcoming you to the second edition for the week of your number one dynamic socio-political breakfast tonic and conscience-pricking program on radio. It is Political Update coming to you live on Silverbird, reading 93.7 FM here in the city of Jos. Today is the third day of February, the year 2026. My name is Pam Dunquist, and of course the king of boys, Ambassador Bello Lukman, is already seated to take us down our destination of 12 noon with political analysis. Bello, good morning. Happy birthday to Plateau State. Unfortunately, we're not hearing the noise about the celebration, even though other states are celebrating. But then, Plateau State is yet to be heard because today, whether we like it or not, Plateau is 50.
Golden Jubilee is actually an age that everybody wants to celebrate, and that's why everybody rolls out the drum to celebrate their 50th birthday. Unfortunately, I opened Daily Trust newspaper today and I saw Bauchi in colors, I saw Bauchi in glitz, I saw Bauchi in glamour. And you would actually think that indeed Bauchi State Governor is the owner of Daily Trust newspapers, because almost every commissioner, almost every traditional ruler and the gladiators that are actually in that state were able to also join the fray. But right now on the plateau, so many people, when I even put this on Facebook, said they didn't even know that today Plateau is 50. And this is also very historic, because it was on the 3rd of February 1976 that Murtala Muhammad was able to carve out this particular state. And he said that Bauchi, Benue, Borno, Imo, Niger, Ogun, Ondo will actually be able to bring governors closer to the people and also reduce overbearing powers of the old regions and foster a more balanced federation. And you know that at that time, the large regions were just too large and they were too distant from the people, and it was breeding alienation. So in his magnanimity, in his policy direction, 10 days before his death, he actually created this state. And of all the states, it's only Plateau State that is actually not celebrating. And I don't know why Plateau is not celebrating. I even saw the governor on Daily Trust, but I thought that the governor will be talking about 50th anniversary of the state. But I saw the governor thanking people that came for his defection to the APC. So many people would also ask about the priority as we speak right now, because the creation of this state was also expected to ensure that the uneven development that was also existing in the country was addressed. The political tension that was happening at that time was also addressed. So as far as the likes of Murtala Muhammad were concerned, creating the state was not just historic, but it was actually symbolic, and it's also a nation building tool, because as at that time there are so many things that is actually creating tension, and this particular state creation was one of the things that was actually used to reduce this particular tension. As at that time again, new states were expected to promote equitable development. They were expected to deepen national unity. They were expected to reduce ethnic and regional domination that was existing as at that time. And now out of all these states, you will discover that most of the states that were created, most of them today, instead of progress, they are in turmoil. Can you talk about Niger State, for example? Niger State is a state that shares boundary with Kaduna, that shares boundary with Zamfara, that shares boundary with Kebbi, that shares boundary with Kogi, that shares boundary with Kwara. And that's the state that houses almost all the main water bodies that we have in Nigeria. Are you talking about the Kainji Dam? Are you talking about River Kaduna? Are you talking about Shiroro? Are you talking about River Niger? That is exactly the state today that is actually facing insecurity, that is facing lots of gargantuan problems that you cannot even imagine. And that is a state that prides itself as the biggest state in Nigeria. It accounts for 8% of Nigeria's landmass. And that is the exact state today that is supposed to also be the engine room for the nation. But what are we reading about Niger on a daily basis? Tears, sorrow, agony, pain, grief, almost on a daily basis. Is very unfortunate.
Bello, Plateau State is known for a lot of things, but it's nicknamed the home of peace and tourism. But today, one would have thought that with the celebration of Plateau State at 50, we will see more of tourist attraction, we will see more of artists performing, we will see more of great leaders that have written their names on the indelible sands of time to make Plateau State that get that name, home of peace and tourism. Bello, everybody saw it when Obasanjo actually attended the celebration of Ogun State at 50.
Exactly.
And he went to play football.
Today is a public holiday in Bauchi too.
And he went
It's a public holiday in Oyo State as we speak right now.
He went to play football. We would have thought that the founding fathers of Plateau State, even though they are not alive, their descendants are still alive today. One would have thought that there's going to be a symposium, there's going to be a gathering, there's going to be a carnival-like celebration from one length of Plateau State to the other. Let's see celebration across the 17 local government of the state to tell the world that indeed Plateau State has come of age. But this day, whether we like it or not, we have lost something greatly, because if you cannot celebrate your 50th birthday in a grand style, then definitely something is wrong. We would have thought that the great artists, the likes of Adu Deme of this world, the likes of Late Amarai, they should be honored. We have gone to the office of the Commissioner for Tourism and Hospitality on the Plateau. In that office, you could see most of the awards that El Mariah of blessed memory was able to get locally, nationally, and internationally. And he didn't keep it in his house. He didn't give it to his children. He said, I got these awards because of Plateau State, and I'm giving those awards to Plateau State. Keep them in that office. Anybody that comes, he will see them. And we're able to see those awards, me and Bello Lukman, in the office of the Commissioner for Tourism and Hospitality. The question this morning, what is it that happened that right from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, what was preoccupying the minds of our leaders that we didn't even remember that Plateau State will be 50 years today, that we should come up with plans and activities that will actually be used to celebrate this day. Unfortunately, if you ask me, Bello, most of our politicians, their minds are preoccupied by who becomes the flag bearer of a political party in 2027, and everybody is jostling to get the ticket. Mind you, the ruling party has already set up a 73-man committee to prepare their congresses, which is coming up sometime in the month of March.
A golden jubilee is not just a date on the calendar. It is actually a moment of collective memory. It's a moment of collective pride. It's a moment of collective reflection. It's a moment of collective history. And anybody that does not value its history then does not have direction. Do you know what Imo State did? They were able to get the 4 people that also orchestrated and facilitated the creation of that particular state, that were able to have the ear of the head of state as at that time, Murtala Muhammad. They were able to bring them so that the new generation, the Gen Z, the millennials, will be able to know history. Who were the people that were close, for example, to Murtala as at the time Plateau was created? Who were the first 4 or the 4 people that were able to convince and persuade? Because even in the military, there was lobbying.
Sure.
Even in the military, there was persuasion. Do we actually know about this? Oyo State took out 1 week. They were able to engage Kunle Afolayan, a renowned film actor, to produce a film about the history of Oyo State.
More like a documentary.
And they were able to bring Jide Kosoko. They were able to bring every A-list actor, Dele Odule. They all gathered in Oyo State. For those that have also been looking at these thespians from afar, it was an opportunity to see them face to face at Mapo Hall. They had a 1 week event in Oyo that is ending today. And they were able to bring the notable sons and daughters of the state. They were able to bring them back, including the Lere Paimons of this world. The man that acted a film called Obori Elemasho. Until tomorrow, that film is an epic movie. So they were able to showcase people that have written their name on the endless side of time in Oyo State. You mentioned rightly what Ogun State is able to do. They brought Obasanjo, they brought Oshoba. They were able to remind people that Ogun State is more or less like the embodiment of leadership recruitment in Nigeria. Because every development, especially in the southwest, seems to start and end from Ogun State. Ogun State is the home of Aladi Odia. Ogun State is the home of MKO Abiola. Ogun State is the home of Fela. Ogun State is the home of Kwamwan. Ogun State is the home of Shina Peters. Ogun State is the home of Adewale Ayuba. Ogun State is the home of Salawa Abeni. Almost everybody that has written his name on the indelible side of time as at that time, they always have a link to Ogun State because of what Awolowo was able to do to some of the people that were actually from that particular end. And they were able to use that particular opportunity. Ogun State is the home of Obasanjo, Olusegun, Okikiola Matthew. So they were able to, at least the ones that are still alive, they were able to bring them to bear so that people can know about some of this history. Do you know what history does? It helps shapes your thinking faculty. It helps you understand who you are. It helps you know your antecedent. It helps you know your record. It helps you know your pedigree. Yesterday, for example, I was able to know that Brigadier General Zekeri Memalari, one of those that were killed on 15th of January 1966, was the first Nigerian to graduate from the Royal Academy in Sandhurst, Royal Military Academy in Sandhurst. And he was the one that domesticated the teaching, the second in command in the Nigerian Military School in Zaria between 1957 and 1959. That was why most of those that were his mentees were actually very, very infuriated with his killing, and they looked for the likes of Efe Juna and the rest in the counter coup in different barracks. You kill our mentor. That's exactly the way the pain was for them. So when you don't actually have a sense of history, then how do you actually navigate even your future? And like I said earlier on, this is supposed, it's not just a date on the calendar. It's supposed to be a date where we will showcase the men from Plateau, the likes of J.D. Gomwok, the likes of Duncan Bali, the likes of Dogoyaro. There was a time that if the Supreme Military Council is sitting, 21 members, there are about 11 members from Plateau.
Sure.
That will be on that table. That means that most decisions about Nigeria were taken with the input of so many Platonians when we had the Lantern Mafias. That they were the ones that were actually shaping decisions about the country. Can we also be able to get the prognosis and the psychoanalysis of their pedigree, their record, and their antecedents?
Bello, Plateau State is known for agriculture. Plateau State is known for music in terms of best artists. Plateau State is known for sports. Plateau State is known for culture. Plateau State is known for so many things. And as you rightly said, Bello, if we go back into history, you discover that in the days of the colonial masters, they prefer to come and stay in Jos. Why? Because of the beautiful and serene climate.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, how many Platonians actually understand this? That history is able to remind them or talk to them that today, this is a state that has hosted the Queen of England at a point in time in this part of the world. Unfortunately, Bello, one would have thought that today, many schools across the length and breadth of the three senatorial zones on the plateau will be taken across different monuments on the plateau to show them, like the J.D. Gomwok building, tell them that this is how it started, and this was the man that actually put in his best to ensure that the city center is getting these beautiful looks. You can also take them to the secretariat. Show them this secretariat was orchestrated by the man J.D. Gomwok. Little wonder it was named after him. But a lot of children today, a lot of even university students don't know. Many of them, if you don't tell them, they don't know this history. Unfortunately, this is where we find ourselves. Nothing is said about the state that has actually written its name on the map of the world, especially when it comes to international mining, because the miners were able to build these rail tracks, not just because they wanted transportation to be easy for us, the citizens or the indigents, but rather for them to move the goods and services from one location to another. And that was why they were able to build all these rail tracks. What happened and what's the propriety of these rail tracks today? What is the propriety of the museums where we keep monuments for history? What is the propriety of these sporting facilities that one would have thought with the big names that Plateau State have produced, the likes of Ahmed Musa, the likes of Mikel Obi, and the rest of them, the other one, I forgot it, Onanzi, and the rest of them, one would have thought that today is going to be a day where we sit, gather, and be able to go back through memory lane to say, this is what Plateau State have been able to achieve, and going forward, this is what we intend to achieve. But then, this is where we find ourselves.
Pablo Quiz, you just said something that caught my fancy, because we can't talk about Plateau State, or Mikel Obi cannot talk about his history without talking about Jos Stadium. You can also talk about Plateau State and the likes of Desmond Elliott,
yes,
that also went to St. John's College, that also had a reminiscence when he came to Jos City recently when St. John's incidentally celebrated their own 50th anniversary. He was able to go there. He went to his home where he was staying even as a student at University of Jos, and he was still able to identify people that he actually was staying with as at that time. The likes of Fred Amata, the entire Amata family. Is it Madazi you want to talk about? You have to also go back to the likes of Abike Dabiri, who told the world that she was born in Jos. Wow. But to what extent do we actually know that? To what extent have we been able to form an alliance and communication and collaboration to be able to benefit from people like that? The likes of MI, the likes of Segun Arinze. Segun Arinze in an interview said, before now, he doesn't do his Valentine elsewhere, but in Jos. Is that the case today?
What about Two-Face?
How about Two-Face that was actually born in Jos? When the Big Brother Africa started, our own friend, Kelvin Pam, he might be listening right now. The young man that we were in UJ, people used to be shy to bring pickup to school. Kelvin Pam used to come to school with his father's pickup, white one, and he will still use it to oppress you that is coming with your Benz.
What about Jeremiah Jan?
To tell you how social Kelvin Pam was. Kelvin Pam was contesting for director of socials. Most of those that were at the UJ at that time will also recall with what I'm saying. That was immediately after Santos finished his presidency. Kelvin Pam was contesting for director of socials. He was contesting alongside a young man called Wheezy. Kelvin Pam did not print one poster. Wheezy was always organizing bonfire, to the extent that there was a day he was going to Bauchi to go and buy goods for his bonfire, that they had a small accident on the bike and he had just a little fracture in the leg, but it did not stop Wheezy from continuing with that bonfire every weekend.
Wow.
We were already giving Wheezy the entire ascendancy that he has won the election
based on what he has been doing.
1 week to that election, there was Miss UG. At that time, not the Miss UJ that today you don't even know there is Miss UG. Even Plateau State will know that something is happening on campus. The first time I will see that big screen that they use at occasion in my life was at one of the Miss UGs. As at then, early 2000s, Pablo Quiz, that was the day that Kelvin Pam announced himself as a social person. Little did we know that he has a dance crew. So he came with his dance crew to Miss UJ, and people that were already thinking Wheezy had won started looking at his way. Without a single poster, Pablo Quiz, this man will come to that bus park that is in main camp. That time, permanent side was not bubbling. If you want to be a real bona fide UJ student, you will leave permanent side and come to this Bauchi Road. That was where the main thing was. You come to A1. That's where you see all the big boys. In Jos, was it Kwande? I'm sure he must be listening to me right now. He was using Mercedes Benz as at that time. They were the biggest boys in UJ.
Not Rolls Royce.
Pablo Quiz, Kelvin Pam will climb the big box, the packed one. Him and his crew. Every day they will be dancing,
entertaining the students.
Every day. That was how Kelvin Pam won that election against Wheezy that had been campaigning. Where am I driving at? The same Kelvin Pam, we stayed in White House together because I was also an escort at that time. Kelvin Pam later became the first winner of Big Brother Africa. I remember as at that time, the deputy governor of Plateau State, Politicial, had to go to the airport to go and welcome Kelvin Pam back to Jos. That time we've not even started Big Brother Niger. It is Africa that Kelvin Pam won. He won $50,000.
That was big money.
So where are all these people? Where are all this history today?
Well, unfortunately, one would have thought that we would tap on the talents that Plateau State has produced, even though some are still on the plateau and contributing their own quarters. The likes of Senator Osama MC Shakara, Funny Bone, Jeremiah Gang, and the rest of them. You remember the soundtrack of Jeremiah Gang that became a national anthem, especially on the national radio, Alana Bakazuchi and the rest of them.
Yes.
But then, whether we like it or not, even though the celebration is not out there, but I want to believe that with what we've just done here, within the few minutes, we have celebrated Plateau.
Plateau is actually a very, very big place that we can use the whole program to celebrate.
I will not finish.
Because Plateau is a blessing. The south of the north and the north of the south.
Very true.
You mentioned the comedy industry. And I also remember that it was in my presence that Funny Bone was born. I was live at that field in Bauchi Road, where MTN came with a program where they said discover the talent, and it was a free program. They brought Basket Mouth, they brought the boss of Julius Agu, and they said that the winner of this talent, it is an a cappella comedy. Come and show your talent. Because Funny Bone was staying in Abuja hostel, so he had a lot of fans. He immediately was even given the microphone.
Before he said anything,
his fans were already hailing, and then his jokes were very funny. So that was where Julius Agu announced that this man will be following us to our next trip in Port Harcourt. I'll never forget. That was where Funny Bone was born. How about Osama? How about Senator? When Two-Face came to Jos in 2002, Osama and Senator were the MCs at that same multipurpose auditorium in University of Jos. If you see the crowd that day. So some of these things, we need to also put them in perspective, put them in context. How about P-Square? Can they talk about their history without Plateau State?
At all.
Their first major album, was it not in 011? Opposite Permanent Site, where Osama was the MC that day. Him and Senator, you see them still tomorrow. Go and watch that video. You still see them. It was inside 011 they did that video.
All right, we'll say congratulations to Plateau State at 50, and we hope that you out there, our esteemed listener, and every citizen on the Plateau will add your voice, add your opinions to shape Plateau and take it to greater heights. Remember, we are one big family. If we allow enemies of state to divide us across political, ethnic, tribal, and whatever lines, then definitely they will succeed over us. But when we continue on the trajectory of preaching, promoting, and also exporting peaceful coexistence, then definitely we are going to get to greater heights. All right, we are due for a break. We'll pay some bills. When we return, we'll continue with the program. The first story will be taken on the Punch. Big money, small impact. Governors face fire over 9 trillion naira FAC windfall. Stay here, we'll be right back. All right, welcome from the break. Still political update coming to you live on Silverbird, reading 93.7 FM here in the city of Jos. Before we went, when we were on that break, rather, Bello had to give me the Nation newspaper to go through, and also Daily Trust newspaper to go through. If you ask me below, the entirety of Daily Trust, if there are 100 adverts on that paper, then 50 are taken by Bauchi State government. And you could see the state government have organized sporting activities, carnivals, Doba, and the rest of them. Gala night and what have you. And you need to see the statements credited to the state governor regarding the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the state. Benue State, that we were together, Benue Plateau, they are also on the newspapers celebrating their 50th anniversary. Talk about Oyo State, they are also there. Ogun State, Ondo State, they are also there. And you ask yourself, Imo State and other states that were given birth to alongside Plateau State are all there, but yet we cannot see our own dear Plateau State. What is happening? What is missing? We need to do something. We need to get it right, because whether we like it or not, this is one opportunity that can never repeat itself again, except maybe we're talking about 100 years. And of course, you know what it means. 100 years might not be celebrated by many of us, except by those that God decided to keep them alive to witness that
only
year.
Few of us that will be alive at that time, and that's why we actually ruin the miss, that we actually miss this particular moment, because we always love Plateau State. Remember the way we celebrated Plateau State at Christmas. Remember the way we ushered in the new year, we commended the state government because they were able to give us a yeoman's job. And that was what we also expect would also really account for this particular celebration, the 50th celebration of the state. But then, maybe it's an oversight. We will also really know very, very soon. I don't know whether there is a statewide broadcast from the governor at Plateau at 50. You know, there are some things, Pamdon quiz, that happen that it's only when you are no longer in power that you will realize the impact of that thing. Why am I saying this? Yesterday something happened. The governor of Benue State in 2023, Otom Sam, you remember him?
Very well.
He was instrumental to the zoning formula of the PDP, only to turn out later to say that he was actually fighting for the South. Yet he was the one that actually headed the committee that banished zoning from PDP, even when it was in their constitution. Guess what? Yesterday, some of his appointees decided to visit him. After visiting him, he told them that he's here to apologize to them. And they said, what was the offense you're apologizing for? He said, I'm apologizing because I foisted Titus, the PDP candidate, on all of you in the last election. Even though he came fourth in the primaries. Then, at the end, he said something that looks laughable. Because in Nigerian polity, there is nobody that has the audacity to look the governor in the eye and say what he actually challenged them. He said, when he was making the mistake, why were all of you silent? Why didn't any of you correct me? When I made the post, Solomon Dalun, the former minister, had to come in and say immediately that person is pointing that correction, you will accuse him of anti-party activity. You will accuse him of sponsoring terrorism. You might arrest and jail him simply because you think he is not towing the line of the man you think or you thought will be the perfect successor to you. Because as at that time, when power is intoxicating them, to even see a voice of reason is always by connection.
Bello, I find it difficult to understand that even people had to sit down and listen to what the former governor was saying. Bello, if you didn't take number 2 and say you are mistaking him for number 1, you went and picked number 4 and forced him on the people, then something is wrong with you. Because if you don't know the difference between 1, 2, 3, and 4, then you have a very big problem. Exactly. You don't even expect anybody to correct you. Because as a governor in this part of the world, as you said, they see themselves as supercilious, as demigods. If you dare that, in fact, that will be the height of insubordination. They will bring up all sorts of charges against you, and you either lose your job or you have to leave the party. We saw what happened in the days of Obasanjo till the present day.
Yes.
If you are not aligning with the man at the center, the only way you can keep your job in Nigerian politics is when you're appointed and your principal comes to say that this microphone, the way they put this stand is very wrong. They should drill the ground, the floor, and put it there. The same people will say, sir, in fact, I wanted to tell you this thing right from the day they were trying to put it on the table. Let the same principal come in the afternoon after they must have drilled the ground to put the stand of this microphone and say, no, this microphone, I think it should be on the ceiling, not on the floor. Sir, before God and man, when they were trying to drill the ground, I wanted to tell you that we should put it on the ceiling. So that is the hypocrisy, the psychocracy.
This is supposed to be a special assistant.
Yes.
Or a senior special advisor.
That is supposed to guide the leader whenever he goes wrong. That's why we don't forget the life of Honorable Afon of blessed memory. This man, you will see him debating with his aides. They will argue and argue. If the aides have the better side of the argument, he will say, okay, let's work with it. If he feels that his own argument is better, they work with it. But not the yes sir, until when you end up crashing and destroying everything. Then after you leave office, that's when you begin to see everything wrong in the leader. Little wonder, the same people in the APC that were seeing everything wrong in Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang Today, they are the ones that are clapping with both hands and laughing from both sides of the mouth. The same people that were celebrating Professor Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang when he was in the PDP, today, they are the ones that are seeing everything wrong in what the man is doing. Just to tell you the level of hypocrisy and sycophancy in this part of the world.
I remember speaking with someone that I might not mention his name, telling me that they were very, very close with the former governor of Plateau State. And because they were colleagues when they were in the House of Assembly, and despite not having, as at that time, sharing the same political party, they went to Rivers State to meet with the former governor, Rotimi Amechi, who was then their godfather as far as politics was concerned. And he said that they told them that they were having a meeting. And because of the closeness of Rotimi Amechi at that time to the former Speaker of Plateau State House of Assembly, Simon Bakolalong, they had to usher them into a room where they were seeing the meeting that was going on. And he said to his greatest surprise, he saw, for example, the governor and the then Commissioner for Information arguing about an issue.
Okay.
Where the governor said, before I can take your position, you need to convince me
beyond reasonable
scientifically.
doubt.
And the young woman stood up and said, sir, if you don't do it this way, this is the consequence. If you don't do it this way, this is the consequence. That at the end of 30 minutes of haggling, of arguing, the governor pandered to the whim and caprice
of the
commissioner. And he said that he actually told then Governor Lalong that this to me is the way governors should be. How many of your commissioners can argue with you like that? He told me that he told the then governor that how many of your commissioners, you can only argue when you have capacity. You can only argue when you are fecund, magnificent, consummate, brilliant, and dexterous yourself. Because it is the strength of your argument that will now be persuasive, that will now be convincing to the extent of changing the idea of that person. But when it is more or less like a yes sir thing, whatever the governor says, yes sir, then at the end of the day, how do you get ideas that will actually, because there is no governor, there is an island of knowledge.
Sure.
He needs specialists in different fields to be able to at least guide him, especially in technical fields, like for example electricity, like water resources and supply, like agriculture. No matter how good that governor says he's brilliant, if not for the brilliance of the likes of Nasir El-Rufai, how many of us knew that there was a concept called town planning? But the man is a professional estate valuer. He had first class in that field. So he brought his expertise to the FCT Abuja.
In practice.
When he first came, he was lambasted by the Muslims because big mosques were brought down. He was lambasted by the Christians because big churches were brought down. He was lambasted by politicians, including the PDP chairman, Ahmadu Ali.
Sure.
His own house was brought down, and he called Obasanjo. Obasanjo said,
allow the man to do his job.
Anything to do about this. That to me is professionalism.
All right, Bello, before we take the first story on the Punch newspaper, today, all things being equal, late Professor Johanna Izam is being laid to rest and is late committed to Mother Earth. For those who don't know, the entire Plateau State have lost an enigma, permit me to use that, and the entire Affarirs Nation, the entire Just East, the entire Nigerians have lost a legend, so to say. The entire academia has lost a legend. The entire build industry have lost someone. This was a man that, as we always say on this platform, Bello, just one call away and tell him that, Prof, we want you to come on the program because we want to look at issues around building education in Nigeria, and he will not hesitate except if it's not within town. Call Professor Johanna Izam, tell him that, Prof, we want to look at the indiscriminate way of building across the length and breadth of our city centers. He will not hesitate. He will come and give the lectures free of charge. This man is laid to rest today. Our hearts are very heavy, but then People's Prof is there to represent political updates, and in the course of the program, he will be giving us an update of what is really going on up there.
Very, very sad one, and permit me to also pay my tribute to my mentor. I remember in one of my programs, he collected the microphone and he said, Bello knows I'm his mentor. And I was not having microphone, but I shouted from where I was that, yes, sir. Because here was a man that has been a lecturer when some of us were still in primary school, where we couldn't even differentiate between our right hand from our left hand. And yet we could still sit on the same chair, in the same room, discussing issues that will actually have a meeting and conference point with him. Is that not a privilege for people like us?
Big privilege.
Is that not a honor for people like us?
It is indeed.
So that's our own consolation.
Sure.
That indeed, we were part of those that actually Professor Johanna Izam mentored. And we will continue to promote his legacies of humility, of simplicity, of sterility, of fecundity, of patriotism, of honesty. Because it was on this chair that Professor Johanna Izam told us, while some students were seated here, that he had an extra year as a student.
Yes, sir.
So that the people that are having extra year will not think, hey, my own don't finish.
No.
He said it on this chair. That yours truly that is talking here, after all, I also had an extra year because when you are in building, there are prerequisite courses. That if you fail them, you're already having an extra year. Already. You are in 200 level, but you are in 100 level. Because there are some courses that you're made to be doing, you cannot do. So it means that until you get to your 500 or 600 where there is not existing, that you are indeed in your own 500. So if Professor Johanna Izam can be honest, you know, when we are growing up, the idea we have is that our parents are always coming first. so who comes second? In that classroom, who comes second? Because they will always tell you when I was there. So who was now coming second?
Especially when you bring your results home and you take number 5 or 10.
Exactly.
They say, look at you. When I was in primary school, then maybe your mother will be tapping you. Calm down. Tell him the truth.
So honestly, for a man to be very honest to the extent of telling us about that, to motivate the students like Faith Mandak, who was here that day, like Blessing and so many others, Nafisat, they were all sitting here, and you know how so many people go to Professor's house. His house is one of the houses that you cannot even see a fence
at all.
That house is always
There's
open.
no barrier.
No barrier. You wouldn't even know that this was a former provost of Kas Kurgui. You wouldn't know that this is a former commissioner for works and housing on the plateau. You wouldn't know that this is a former VC. When he was a VC, when I went for their convocation, I've never seen such kind of broken barrier where students have direct access to their VC. Pablo Quiz, my impression about VCs is that they are spirits.
They are unseeable.
You can't see your VC. I was part of Professor Choden's term in UJ. I have never in my life seen my VC.
Eye to eye.
I was part of Mangwat. I was part of the man before Memako. I was part of Memako. I'm telling you, to see a VC as a student is like a camel passing through the mouth of the needle. That is not Professor Johanna Izam.
May God rest his soul.
If you see how open his office was as the VC of Plasu, is that the case today?
Well, how would you be remembered when you leave this world, or when you leave position of power? Will you be remembered as one who actually embraced people or distanced people away from yourself? Let's take the first story below on the Punch newspaper. Big money, small impact. Big money, small impact. Governors face fire over 9 trillion naira FARC windfall. Below, for those who don't know, apart from the normal allocation, there's what is called 13% derivation, which is shared separately to oil producing states. And we have Abia in the month of February 2025 below, they got 899,817,492 naira 13 kobo. Then we go to Akwa Ibom, they got over 18 billion naira from the derivation, not the actual allocation that was shared. Then we talk of Anambra, they got 1.3 billion. Then come down to Bayelsa, 21.217 billion. Then Delta State, 26.969 billion. Then Edo State 3.983 billion. Then we have Imo State 1.8 billion. Then we have Ondo State 2.522 billion. Then we have River State 19.820 billion. And put it side by side, the main allocation that they got, that they actually got. Go to the states this morning. That's just for the month of February.
Yes.
We're not talking about the whole year. So if we're talking about the whole year, we might be talking of over 100 billion in some states. But can we go to those states and see how many health facilities have been built or have been revamped or have been improved upon? How many schools have been built and improved upon? How many roads have been built and improved upon? How many bridges where there are rivers that have been built, constructed or rehabilitated? Below, there are states that their population is not even up to the size of a local government on the plateau, but yet they receive this humongous amount of money. Go there, there's no good drinking water, no good health facilities, nothing to write home about, yet they keep receiving this money. And each time, trust me Nigerians, we want to blame everything on the executive.
Let's shift our attention.
Federal executive, rather.
Yes, let's shift our attention from these states that are oil producing that you've mentioned, because people do not know that Imo and Anambra are oil producing states. People do not know that Ondo State also receives part of the 13% because there is deposit of oil in some parts of that state. And I'm happy that you were able to educate the general public with that information. Now, Pamdon Quiz, can we also ask other states that have also gotten increased revenue?
Sure.
From, for example, in 2025, they were able to get 7.315 trillion. That's exactly what the entire 36 states of the Federation got from the Federation Account Allocation Committee. But in 2024, they got 5.186 trillion. So this 2-point-something trillion increase is 41% increase. So, Pamdo Quiz, if your salary is increased by 41%, is your incentive not supposed to increase?
It should.
Is your access to education not supposed to increase? Is your access to water not supposed to increase? Is your mortality rate not supposed to be defeated? Is your child mortality not supposed to be defeated? Is out of school children not supposed to be addressed? But when you are seeing weak institutions, when you are seeing situations where people are just grappling with the next meal, and most times they've even tweaked their ratio, and now you also see that people are still running to that political party, then you know that definitely there is what is called weak governance, and this is exactly what is happening. There's what is called misplaced priorities, there's mismanagement of the inflow, and this is also a failure to translate increased revenues into visible development outcomes, because 7.315 trillion is enough to change the fortune of a country. It's enough to change the fortune of the entire state. Now let's talk about the party that everybody is actually grub-totting and grappling to also join. You have a situation where the party has been in power for how many years consecutively right now? To what extent can the people beat their chest to say that indeed they are really enjoying the dividends of democracy under the party? And you know that power when held for too long without result breeds arrogance. It breeds denial, and it also eventually breeds rejection. And that's exactly the warning that they should be careful about. After about a decade in power, the party in power is no longer campaigning as a movement of hope, but governs and seek re-election as a fatigued establishment that is weighed down by its own contradiction.
Bello, just hold your thought right there. We are being joined by the People's Professor, Comrade Luka Pampe Yakubu, who actually is representing Political Update at the funeral service of late Professor Johanna Exam. People's Prof, it's good to have you. Good morning. Yeah. So what's the situation like over there? Because we know that it's going to be the gathering of the cream de la cream of the society to pay their final respect to late Professor Johanna Exam.
That's right. At the moment, we're just exiting from the church service, which is a funeral service at the moment, at the Equa church here, along the Lamingo axis. And indeed, it's quite a mammoth crowd here. Quite a number of people are already here, from government officials. The deputy governor is representing the governor here, the speaker of the House of Assembly, the deputy, many of them here. And indeed, it's important that I'm mentioning this because it really shows to you the kind of person that, has fallen as far as, this is concerned. And one of the greatest things that I have observed, even at this particular point in time, is the fact that there are different segments of people across divides in the society. And here I'm talking about the academia. I'm talking about, indeed, political juggernauts across different divides, administrators, former governor of Plateau State, Chief Joshua Chibidare, who, of course, indeed, the late professor also served under him as a commissioner in the Ministry of, Housing and Transport at that time. So definitely, he's such a person that a lot of people actually went to miss. But one thing also stand out, the late professor has let his funeral look very simple. And I'm saying this against the backdrop of the fact that he lived a life that I've observed. People are not also languishing in tears. People are not also crying because of regrets. But people seem to be celebrating the many legacies that he has also left on ground as far as his lifetime was concerned.
Okay, People's Prof, going forward, what will be the lessons to be learned by our leaders going forward, those that are in corridors of power, link it to the life of Professor Yana Izam?
Exactly. The life of the person is simply a life of lesson indeed. One of the things that really take away from it is that of humility, as it is. A lot of people have celebrated the humility of the man. A lot of people have also celebrated the dedication of the man to service and so many other things that he has lived for. And I think the clergyman who spoke there has also underscored the lesson that people should be able to take away. And that is the fact that life itself is a futility if it is lived outside humanity and God in the true sense of the word. And I think that is the biggest lesson for everybody. It's not just about people who would be able to accumulate a lot of wealth, and at the end of the day, they have nothing to show for it. So indeed, I think the bigger lesson, which I have already mentioned, is something that we can equally, live by it and learn, according to what we have also seen in the life of this man.
All right. People's Prof, maybe Bello will want to ask one question, then we wrap it up.
Yes.
All right, People's Prof, thank you so much for the updates. From the church, where is the next point of call?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said from the church, where is the next point of call?
Okay, it's a bit noisy around.
Okay, Bello is asking that from the church now, where is the next point of call?
Yes, we're actually moving to Kursum, which is where the man will be finally laid to rest. Kursum is also a district in the East local government. The movement is actually going towards there where he will be committed to Mother Earth, at the end of the day. And I think quite a number of us, by the grace of God, who also want to advance to that particular community. And indeed, as a community builder and somebody who has contributed immensely to the development of his community, it does appear that a number of people would also want to go to that community to pay their last respect to a man, who has actually indicated his commitment to community development and so on and so forth.
All right, I think that's the much we can take, People's Prof, and we wish you safe journey to and fro, and may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Thank you, amen. And that's the prayer of everybody. We'll continue to talk about him because his legacies will live on.
Yeah.
And like I keep saying it is not how long you live, but it's also how well you live.
Very true.
And like an Iroko tree that has also fallen, there are a lot of things that also come with it.
Sure.
The shelter that he used to provide, and the many other things that are also there will also continue as far as the legacies of the man, are concerned.
All right.
So we pray for the family and we pray for the entire political update family who have also benefited from the, contributions of this man. They also take heart as we continue to celebrate the many legacies that he has left behind.
All right, thank you so very much, People's Prof, and that was Comrade Luka Pampe Yakubu, the People's Prof. Bello, quickly, I want you to learn on that very germane point that you were making regarding, okay, I think because of time, we'll just open the phone lines for you to add your voice so that we can, for those that want to celebrate the state at 50, and those that want to add their own voice to issues raised during the newspaper review, you can do that. 080-6464-1536 is the number to call, and 080-2971-0202 is for text messages rather. The WhatsApp platform is already open. Please be decorous in your contributions. No name calling, no stereotyping, no stigmatization of any kind. Comments made on this platform are not the opinion of Silverbird Radio 93.7, but of those who make them. And remember, emotions and sentiments of every kind are too luxurious for us. We cannot afford them, so please be guided. Bello will start with some of the messages.
Nelep Silas, good morning, undisputed advocate of nationalism. As we celebrate our golden jubilee, we must also remember the architect who led the foundation, CP Joseph Deshi Gomwok of blessed memories. The shoes he left up to date, nobody has gone near them, not even wearing them. Our so-called politicians should go and learn from him. Indeed, legends never die, that's why his legacies are ever alive and active. RIP, our selfless, patriotic and visionary leader. Nelap is saying that. Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. PDK and Sagacious Bello Lukman. Today, as we lay Professor Yohana Exam to rest, may his departed soul find eternal rest with the Lord Almighty. Amen. Gomex Agom is in football. Good morning, Bello, Mr. PDK. Thank you for analysis. I don't miss this program for anything. Regards to your guest, Mr. Luke Pampi. Congrats to Plateau United for having the first away win yesterday. Arsenal versus Chelsea today, Carabao Cup. Pray for Plateau and Nigeria for peace. Plateau is 50 today. May God give Arsenal victory over Chelsea. Bolos Daniel, thank you very much. And we're also celebrating the birthday of Dr. Kwandi. Today is actually his birthday. Oh, wow. The DJ of Plaschema. We say happy birthday, Dr. Humphrey Kwandi. Good morning, United Peace Ambassador, Mr. PDK. The way some Nigerians are mocking what happened to His Excellency Mr. President is very unfortunate and disappointing. We have to show humanity and mercy to everyone, and whenever any misfortune happen. We're not celebrating. Let's continue to pray for. I didn't see the remaining part of your message that contain your name. I'm sorry. Good morning, political update. I stand with Plateau State for not celebrating Golden Jubilee. Yes, there are reasons to celebrate. Femi G is saying that from Nasarawa, Guam. Good morning, Mr. Bello. Okay, this is a long one. Ampam and the erudite people's Professor Luke Pampi Yakubu. Indeed, people are doing gratefully and wonderfully well by educating the universe with the best political radio program, the political update. Of course, we have no excuses if we didn't celebrate our amiable state. The Plateau we are living in that turns 50 today. It's a great blessing to witness a day like this. And with the Platonians, we are not happy because there is no any form of celebration from the state government and the local government chairman. While we have seen some other neighboring states are given a holiday just to celebrate the date of creation, unfortunately, Plateau is missing on national dailies. Happy birthday to Plateau State at 50. We pray that may the lasting peace continue. Isaac Naboji is in Co Street. Christy Zhang is in Rukuba Road. And she is saying, good morning, my baby presenters. Honestly, when I told my children that today our state is 50 years, my son said there's supposed to be public holiday and celebration. But see how everywhere is dry. Happy Golden Jubilee to all of us on the Plateau. Although Plateau is not where it should be, I think it's time we stop being distracted and be united. God has blessed us with climate, land, mineral resources and talent. Unlike other states, please let's focus on peace and reconciliation. Our leaders should start thinking legacy, turning tourism into real revenue. We can still achieve the Plateau of our dream if we make the right choices. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Ruby FM. God bless Plateau State. God bless Nigeria. And I was talking with one of our grandfathers, Alhaji Mustafa Aliyu, who went to the southwest over the weekend. He told me that if you travel to the southwest and you pass through a state called Niger State, you will regret traveling. That in Niger alone you will spend 5 hours. That in fact, if you even know the road, there are places they will take you to because of the bad road that you'll be wondering whether indeed they are actually taking you into a hamlet. Wow. But that's the only alternative road you have to actually maneuver your way to that place you are going. That they got home, or your state, Ogumosho, 2:30 a.m. in the morning. That's when they got home.
Very unfortunate. All right, 080-6464-1536. Let's pick the first call today, the birthday of Plateau State. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Pham.
Morning, your name and location, please.
My name is Mustafa Ligava.
Mustafa, go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Thank you very much. My own is just to put forward my prayers for you people for the good job you have been doing.
Thank you, Mustafa.
Continue to protect you and us.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mustafa, for the prayers, and we don't take it for granted. Bello.
Emmy Longs is in Agingi. Good morning, Bello, MC PDK, and the People's Prof. Plateau State is 50 years today. History will never forget this without the likes of J.D. Gomwok, who made this state to be what it is today. Honest people who fought for this country are gone. What we see now are leaders that come to loot. With the souls of our leaders in the sisters rest in peace. Emmy Longs is in Agingi, where you have a Malami telling the world that he got his money through gifts and through his salaries. Then you ask yourself, 278 billion are the worth of the 57 houses. Are you telling me that the 600 and something million or 900 and something million naira gift and the 300 and something million naira salaries was what he used to purchase those houses?
Very funny.
Happy morning. Okay, good morning, Bello and PDK. Happy 50th anniversary to Plateau State. The Queen of England has a lodge in Jos here, where the current Bonbon's Palace is, and she resides there. And where I school at Government College Kefi, it was Benin, Plateau State. There's a place called Queen's Park. It was a park where the Queen planted a tree. So much have been done on the plateau, but we are not there yet. We are hoping to get there. Eric is in Ojuko Street.
Thank you, Eric.
Morning, all Plateau at 50 those days has gone. I remember Governor Abdullah Mohammed, he used to ride bicycle going around Jos City alone, and he waved his hand to people. Bala is in Jos. Those are memories, and these are the things we want to also share. Joseph Marshett is west of mine. I lost my father, Honorable Mike Marshett. The burial will take place at Utan in his residence. May so rest in peace. And we are with you, our friend and brother. Political update, happy anniversary to Plateau State. Plateau State at 50 is not a small thing. Plateau will continue to be a great and peaceful state. Yesterday was my birthday. Happy birthday to me. Kingsley Namuguwam is in Chebiko. Happy birthday to you, Kingsley. And good morning, gentlemen of the press. Remember Plateau State at 50, golden age with Nigerian personalities, great geosites, some names of great Nigerians, either born, lived, or educated in Jos. People like Tony Elumelu of UBA, Shego Degbami, the amateurs, Obinna Owafo, St. Obi, P Square, Ahmed Musa, Philip Amudu, the former deputy governor of Edo State, Tijani Boson, the current minister of communications and digital economy, Two-Face, Mikel Obi, and Etal. Sorry, my very small way of celebrating Plateau at 50. Willie of Ekong in Mr. Ali. Thank you for reminding us of the great Shegun Odegbami, whose house is in Nasarawa area of Jos, and who was also a student of Samurumba College, and he was able to use the number 7 shed even before Cristiano Ronaldo was born, to show that indeed number 7 also epitomized excellence. Before the era of the Peles of number 10, the Maradonas of number 10, number 7 used to be that shirt that once you wear it, you are the best player on the field.
Sure. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pandu Bush.
Morning, now
Good morning, son of nobody has become somebody that anybody. Good morning, sir.
Thank you for the weekend, sir.
You have 1 minute, please.
What I'm telling my people, no matter your young age, no matter your religion, you should make sure that we use this 50th birthday, we use one another. United, so that we can be platform before, not platform today. That is what I want to say. Like God to the platform, that's all of this. Let them come to Nigeria.
Thank you so very much.
Family of Johan is done. We say
amen.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Now they do us.
Good morning, BNP. Keep doing good work going. May the soul of Professor Anna Izam rest in peace. Congratulations to the state that produced many heroes. That's why our children don't know history. Plateau State that produced many heroes. Truly, we need to celebrate our past and present heroes on the plateau. Well, we all know that our leaders and politicians are busy thinking of 2027 election, which only God can say who will see 2027. Let's continue to plan and live together in peace. Madam Falasha de Lasco Furniture is admonition from NTA Hoshe here. Suleiman Sciences in Yusuf Street. Morning BNP, as Professor Johanna Izam is laid to the Mother Earth today at Frusum, his hometown. My condolence goes to his family, UJ, Plateau and Plateau State at large. It's a great loss to humanity and academic environment. Congratulations to Plateau at 50. Suleiman Science is in Yusuf Street. Good morning, friends, indigenous and non-indigenous alike. PDK Bello and Sir Professor Luca, happy 50th anniversary. You cannot do without history. Now, no hard work, no dedication, but more of politics. Do you know that Shegun Odegbami, Governor Kure, Governor Ladoja, Ismail Omabu, Lawande Dirty, their two brothers spent most of their lifetime on the plateau. Wow. In the good old days, in Nigeria, mention Lagos, Kwara, you must mention plateau. In sports, education, exposition, etc. What is hitting us is the divide that's man-made. May Professor Izan rest in peace. Fact, increased allocation without due assessment. M. Lawal is in Sabo Begi. Thank you, M. Lawal. The loss of Professor Yana Izam and his final burial is a big loss to the state, and from the update of Mr. Luka Pampi shows that the entire Plateau State are missing this great achiever. Very unfortunate, but this is the direction of everyone which we cannot challenge the authority of God Almighty. Lastly, Governor Caleb Mufwan is not fair to the state for not celebrating this golden jubilee or even declaring a public holiday. Maxwell Cicelo Hotel is saying that.
All right, let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost it. On the WhatsApp platform, we have this one saying, good morning, greetings, great minds on radio. I'm really surprised that Plateau State government is not organizing programs that will make the Gen Zs to know what happened before Plateau became a state and what happened till now. It's better to be late than not making a small effort. History is important. Please, please, Ibrahim Yakubu D. and Gwarukuba in Jos. Wow, Plateau at 50, congratulations and more grace. I think the government should look inwardly and improve the plight of the people, given the fact that some states have been in existence for 50 years is enough reason why we'll learn to continue learning to get the best for all. But in reality, if you want to compare the development with the years, you will be disappointed. Public servants should stop stealing from the public treasury, but serve humanity with honesty, transparency, and accountability. Mr. Vincent Thomas, the Ogoja boy. Congratulations, Plateau at 50. What is the way forward? Arinze Patrick from Agingi is asking the question. Christy Izan Rukuba wrote, good morning, my amiable presenters. Honestly, when I told my children that today our state is 50 years, my son said there's supposed to be a public holiday and celebration, but see how everywhere is dry. Happy Golden Jubilee to all of us on the Plateau. Although Plateau is nowhere, it's not where it should be. I think it is time we stop being distracted, but be united. God has blessed us with climate, land, mineral resources, and talent, unlike other states. Please, let's focus on peace and reconciliation. Our leaders should start thinking legacy, turning tourism into real revenue. We can still achieve the plateau of our dream if we make the right choices. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Plateau. God bless Redeem FM and Nigeria. Thank you. Happy birthday, Plateau State, the state that is blessed with everything, whether entertainment, sports, education, and it's the only state in Nigeria where you earn 20,000 as salary and you still feel big boy. Come to Eto Baba and see how trees grow on the rocks. One love, Plateau State. God bless Nigeria. Tunde Balogun from Eto Baba and is proud of his community. Happy 50th anniversary, Plateau State. Wishing you a golden jubilee filled with peace, prosperity, and progress. May the next 50 years be just as bright. Thompson Tokma is saying that. Good morning, Sagashos, Bello Lukman, MCPDK. God bless you richly for the weekly update. I'm calling on the Plateau State Ministry of Water Resources to come to the aid of residents in Ubiel, Katako Junction, as the community has been without water for some years now. Happy 50th anniversary to Plateau State and all other states celebrating their golden jubilee. Hamza from Faculty of Agriculture, University of Jos. Hello.
Also join the...
Okay. Hello, good morning. Well, maybe you call us back again. We can barely hear you, please. So sorry about that. Maybe you call us back.
I want to join the call for water in Ubel because that's one community I stayed while I was a student at University of Jos, and that's one community where you see Muslims and Christians living peacefully together. And no wonder development is actually coming to that particular area through communal efforts. And that's exactly why I'm also joining Hamza and others to also call on the state government to ensure that there is water in that community.
Thank you so very much. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Sharif Mohammed calling you from Saudi.
Go ahead, Mohammed. You have 1 minute.
We appreciate the fact that Plateau is 50. It's worth celebration. But what hurts me most now, most of the civil servants that have served this state for these years are just dying. Some of them are ill, battling with medical expenses and so on. No gratuity, no better benefits, nothing. So it's very unfortunate.
All right.
I wish you well. Thank you.
Thanks so very much, Mohammed.
I remember talking to a son of the soil one day, and he told me that if there's one man that has done a lot in terms of federal presence to Plateau State, that man is Ibrahim Mantu. So people like that, today is the day we need to celebrate people like this. They have been able to at least showcase that patriotic zeal. The reason for the creation is for inclusion
and development.
And they've been able to at least use their own prominence as Deputy Senate President to get Plateau indigents to the federal level. So that's why I said that we missed an opportunity to teach history. We missed an opportunity for reflection, for cognitive reminiscence, so that at least we can connect back to our past, know our present, and use it to project the future.
Bello, we currently have 3 senators in the National Assembly. We have about 8 House of Rep members. Can we ask the question, what are those things that have been able to actually lobby for to bring to Plateau State as one of the states that actually made Nigeria a great nation back in the days where mining was booming, especially in the days of the colonial masters. But then, just like you rightly said, we missed an opportunity when Mantu passed on to the great beyond, because these were people that, if you ask me, to some certain level, they were able to write their names on the indelible sands of time without being biased, without being bigoted because of politics, tribe, or religion. They were just looking at what can we bring home, because we send them to go on a hunting. Because anybody you elect to go and represent you, it's like you send him for a hunting mission. And when he goes for hunting and he doesn't bring back anything, then that mandate that you actually gave that person was not worth it. But can we ask ourselves the question, from the days of Mantu to today, can we ask, what are those things that some of our representatives were able to bring compared to the days of Mantu?
In Lumelu, I was just informed that he had his own past on the plateau.
Yeah.
Today, that man is doing a lot in terms of empowering the youth. What is Plateau benefiting from that? Have we been able to at least get across to him, to be able to come back to his roots, to be able to invest on the plateau?
All right, let's pick more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, family.
Morning, your name and location, please.
Hello, good morning, I'm the People's Forum. Good morning.
Morning, sir.
My name is Zira. I'm calling from Old Bukrupa.
Zira, go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Well, you see, it's quite unfortunate what we are seeing in this part of the country. You see, that is why we keep complaining of party, APC. Instead of them, that celebration that they did in Polo, they would have used it to celebrate today. Plateau people would be more happy than when they celebrated the governor coming to APC. This thing is placement of priority, but it's quite unfortunate. Today, that Plateau people are supposed to be happy, celebrating that they are 50 years today. There is some text that you read that a father told his child that Plateau is 50 years today, and the child was surprised. Why is the town so dry? That we are supposed to be celebrating all over. But see, we are here complaining, no public holiday, nothing. I don't know whether the moment you come out from one party to APC, that at least they have one ideology of forgetting things or what, I just don't know. There is well with us.
All right, thank you, Zira, for your contribution. And this one is saying, good morning, my dear friends on radio, Bello and Palm. May God continue to bless you guys, and may the soul of Professor Izan rest in peace with the Lord. Amen. Victor Mbonu, Elegant Cosmetics from Foreign Gada. Highly Charity, happy Golden Jubilee to our dear Plateau. May God continue to heal our state with peace. Well done to you guys for the good work you are doing to ensure everywhere is peaceful. Good morning to the wise men in the studio. I commend the president for allowing the state government to provide electricity power supply for the state for the development of the economy. Aminu Abdullah Shaibu wrote that. Chidi in Terminus, greetings to my most amiable and excellent journalists in the house, wishing Plateau State a happy, blessed 50th birthday anniversary. That's all I got from your name, just Chidi. Good morning, Mr. Bello and Palm. Concerning Plateau Golden Jubilee, I'm not really surprised that the governor didn't organize any special celebration, because he's not really, okay, no, not use the word you use, but most of his life was outside the state. Dave from Abattoir. I didn't see this other message. Maybe the message will still coming. Okay. Good morning, B and P. Today is a day to reflect on the growth and stagnation of our dear Plateau State. I call on every citizen of the state to decide to play his or her role in the growing of our beloved Plateau. Ira Lazarus from Angon Rukuba. Thank you. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Your name and location, please.
Emmanuel coming from Tudor.
Go ahead. You have 1 minute, Emmanuel.
I want to congratulate the Platinian for 58th anniversary of the state creation.
Thank you.
And it's unfortunate that it happened the way it happened, because immediately the governor decamped to APC. Some of us see this thing coming. So it's not surprising to some of us. Congratulations, Plateau State, all the rest.
All right. Thank you, Bello.
Right, once again, below some states like Gombe and Nasarawa are far better than Plateau. Our problem is tribalism and religious sentiment. Bala is in Jos. Good morning, United and Peace Nation Peace Ambassador MC PDK. The way some Nigerians are mocking what happened to His Excellency Mr. President, I think we've taken this message. We sent it twice. Good morning, Mr. Bello, MC PDK and People's Professor. Today is the interment for our late father, Professor Johanna Daniel Izam. We are praying that may soul rest in peace. Thank you very much. You didn't put your name, but we appreciate your message for celebrating our father. Bolus Ohuman Esther in Fenigara, keep up the great work out there. The two wives in the studio. Happy birthday to our Plateau State at 50. We pray for a better Plateau and Nigeria of our dreams. Morning BMP and the People's Professor, congrats to Plateau at 50. We must rise above fear and bitterness to reclaim back our land and dignity as one Plateau, irrespective of tribe or religion. Instead, let's join hands to protect what is ours, to make Plateau exceptional. God bless Nigeria. Adeomi in Bauchi Road. God bless you too.
All right, 08064641536. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, and security. Bello Lukman.
Thank you. Your name and location, please.
Yes, this is Alizem Kaze, also known as Adis Plaza, calling from Turumara.
Go ahead, you have 1 minute.
Yes, I want to say a very big thanks for you for educating us freely. The Lord will count all your efforts with a hidden glory. I want to also congratulate us to stay at 50 and may the souls of rest in perfect peace and all those that have lost their loved ones, that God is going to comfort their family.
Okay.
Really, I want to commend your program. It is very, very educative and enlightening. But like we here in Sudumwada, which the major source of our water is from the wildlife park, and now it has been fenced. We are really finding it very difficult because even those that are selling the water doesn't have access to that place. So I'm pleading on behalf of you and to the government and all our legislators to come to our aid and help us. We are really not finding it easy. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so very much. On the Facebook page, we have this one saying, good morning to you. Okay, so sorry. Okay, good morning to you all. When I heard what the states collect every month, I was shocked. This shows that our leaders are not only wicked to their people, but prefer that the states remain how they are as long as they keep smiling to the banks. This political business against the majority of Nigerians should and must be stopped. It's from Ezekiel Henry, and this one is saying, good morning, Mr. Bello. My condolences to the entire family. That's from Godwin Sule. Musa Hashim Keke Rider is saying, good morning, Bello and Pam and People's Prof. I think Almighty God has given us every reason to smile and celebrate Plateau State at 50. Our condolences goes to the family of late Professor Johanna Izam as we pray for lasting peace in Plateau State and Nigeria at large. Musa Hashim Keke Rider is saying that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, TBK. Good morning, Bello Lukman.
Morning, your name and location, please.
Roberto Mancini on the line from Namingo Road.
Go ahead, Roberto, you have 1 minute.
Honestly, let me first and foremost congratulate the entire Platinians and Nigerians over the demise of Professor Johanna Izam within our area here, because right now, as I'm currently at the gate of National Human Rights Commission, they are passing the cup to the burial ground now, so we pray for journey mercy to everybody that will be back on the journey. I want to celebrate Plateau United. I think Plateau State at 50, and there's no better way to celebrate Plateau State at 50. Plateau United is going away to go and pick a maximum 3 points to celebrate Plateau in a big way. So I congratulate Plateau State and I congratulate Plateau United. Mr. Bello Lukman, later in the day, it's going to be between you and me, Chelsea and Arsenal.
Are you throwing a challenge to Bello?
Yeah?
Are you throwing a challenge to Bello? All right.
Chelsea are on top of their game.
All right. At the end of the day, we'll come back tomorrow and still analyze this.
Of course. Good morning, Bello, PDK People's Professor. Happy 50th Platonians anniversary. You didn't put your name. Now that the PDP governors and other political stalwarts have run away, very soon Wike will revive the party ahead of 2031 election. This is where you will see people decamping back to the party and start fighting Wike and make unnecessary claim of the party. I'm saying this because court have given judgment to the Wike bloc, and I know that Wike will soon revive the party. Maxwell is saying that. I don't know whether that's a breaking news where you say that the court has given Wike the mantle of the party. Maybe because we're in the studio, we've not had the breaking news. But yesterday, I've not had that news.
Well, then, Bello, you know that in this part of the world, once there's a case between a state and the federal, shall I say, powers that be, definitely you know that if the state court want to give the judgment, you can predict that this is where the judgment is going to go to. And if it's the federal interest that's there, you can predict. We cannot forget in a hurry what happened in Kano State when Ganduje was the APC national chairman and the governor was there. It was a battle between the state court and the Federal High Court. And any judgment the state was going to give must definitely be and will always be in favor of the state governor. And any judgment that the Federal High Court will give will always be in favor of the Gandujas of this world. But we are saying that, can we actually be very proactive in giving the right judgment so that going forward it can be referenced? Because most times people can just sit and predict that once this person has interest in this kind of judgment and the judgment is in this court, you just know already where the judgment is going to be favoring. So whether we like it or not, the pendulum will continue to swing between the state court and the Federal High Court, which are courts of concurrent jurisdiction. But let's wait for the appeal court to give their verdict, and if the case can go to the Supreme Court, still the Supreme Court will give their verdict. But we cannot forget in a hurry, Supreme Court has made it very clear that party issues are strictly the internal affairs of political parties. But then we have seen people that are actually sitting on the mandate of other people because of some technicalities that were given by tribunals, as the case may be.
Good morning, Mr. Bello. Mr. PDK People's Prof. Happy 50th anniversary to Plateau State. Inyam Aminu is saying that. Thank you so much, Inyam Aminu.
All right, 08064641536. Hello, good morning.
Hello, I'm PDK and the financial. Good morning.
Morning, that should be Mr. Dave.
Yeah, this is Dave himself.
Go ahead,
First
Mr.
of all, may sort of our mentor, Professor Nizam, rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
And then congratulations to Plateau State. In French, we say bon anniversaire. And we hope that children will be taught to say that happy birthday to Plateau in their local languages. You know, so much should have been going on right now. We hope that when the governor is back, we're still going to have a grand occasion to celebrate our state. And because we have so much in this state. You know, we look forward to exporting our weather. We look forward to exporting our rocks, the rocks from Kanke and Jos. We look forward to exporting our hospitality and not our hostility, which is learn to love one another as humans, not people of different religions or tribes. So our hospitality and not our hostility should be exported to the outside world. I look forward to celebrating you and PDK in the next 50 years when we are celebrating Plateau of 100 years.
Right.
And lastly, I want Mr. Bello, last time on Friday you said that the best thing that happened to Plateau State after the invention of terror. I don't want him to stop using terror because that's my best food. You know, so
Go tell us,
over 200 products can be made from acha. Our potatoes, so many things that have blessed us in this land that we have not started yet. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Dave.
Thank you, Mr. Dave.
You know, Gwete in Birom language is called Tere. So he called it in the Birom language. Yes, we have lots of messages on the Facebook, but then it's like we cannot access them. Good morning, political update. The road construction from Guarandog to Shaka have stopped. Please help us call on the government to complete it. All right, I think that's the much time will permit us to take on the program this morning. Let's see if we can just squeeze this call. Hello, good morning.
Well, good morning.
Morning, your name and location, please.
Yeah, my name is Sadiq Umar.
Sadiq, you are the last caller for today. You have just 40 seconds.
Yeah, thank you very much. I want to send my condolence to the former of Plateau, which is a very, very good guest. And the kind of people that were here show you that the man is a man of caste and yeah, the good life that people are occupying. And lastly, we want to congratulate Plateau activity. But the reality is that just compare Plateau and other states that have been getting state on the same thing. You see that Plateau have been behind. So I'm calling on the Plateauians for the sake of they should do away with the any sentiment and move Plateau forward. All hands must do on them to move Plateau forward. Thank you very much, God bless.
Thank you, Sadiq Umar from TT&T Junction. And that's the much time will permit us to take this morning. Bello as we report.
Al-Hassan Attai is in Magama Gumau. Good morning, Alhaji Bello and PDK. I don't miss your program. May Allah bless you all. I'm Al-Hassan Attai from Magama Gumau. I want to say a very big congratulations to our very good brother, Victor Yediron. Inyamaminu just east. We have your message. Time will not permit. You're also talking about the interment of our late father, Professor Yohana Izam. We're praying that may his soul rest in gentle peace. Inyamamino, thank you very much.
All right, thank you to every other person that made this program a huge success with your contributions, calls, and text messages. We appreciate you and we'll continue to hold you in high esteem. David Friday, thank you for producing us, and our cameraman, St. Ugo, fine boy journalist. My name is Pam Dunquist. Keep listening to this station. That's the only station authorized to make you happy. Hope to see you at the other side of sunrise tomorrow. Do have yourselves a lovely day. Next is going to be the news at noon. Bye-bye.